that fun and, you know, sometimes horribly played. But whatever. This is not about my playing, this is about the Joyo WILD BOOST. YouTube, pedal people, nerdizzles, you're my homies. You know, some of you, you know, how would I describe it? You know, assholes. I have to say that. I mean, I look at other people's videos and I go like, oh my god, he used, you know, a camera and used the camera mic to record the guitar sound. What the fuck is that supposed to be? That doesn't tell me anything. Some other people, you know, use a cell phone. Crap. Some people don't tell you what they're using. They're using crappy cables, whatever. But you know what? I don't go to their videos and say, your demo is crap. We spend a shitload of time, all of us YouTube demo people, bringing you pedals, bringing you cable reviews, guitar reviews, amp reviews, whatever you want to see. Try to share our view, not the truth, but our view of how we like sound. You know, am I the biggest plexi guy in the world? Well, it's, you know, I don't really think a plexi has the greatest lead tone. That is my understanding, because I like my lead tone with some mids, and it's missing the frequencies that I like. That doesn't mean that it's the truth. It is what I like. I can only see it from my point of view. So some people go around saying, dude, your demo is shit. You know what? We do this for free. We bring you pedal reviews. We bring you information. What you do with that information, you can say, well, he's not playing like me, so it doesn't help. I don't have a Telecaster. I look for a video that more clearly represents how I see sound and how I play the sound. Well, you're totally welcome to do that. You could say, please, next time, could you use humbuckers? I'm using a Telecaster now because I've got asked, please don't use all these humbucker guitars, use some single coils. So I try to adjust to what you want to hear, and I try to help you estimate what the pedal can sound in your hands. But you know what? Don't go around insulting people that spend a lot of their free time away from their girlfriends. You know, this takes hours to do. So please, you know, be kind. If you disagree, please write it. Please write a comment saying that you disagree and share your experience. So, on to the Joyo WILD BOOST from the Ironman series. I just hit my guitar. They are really tiny. Look at this. This is how big they are. This is the pipe bomb. And they have this, they call it the knob guard, which I think is not the best name. We can call it the whatever. But it says Joyo on there and it lights up, which is kind of neat. And you open this and there's your settings in there. Space for 4 knobs, which is kind of cool because most of these pedals actually have a high and a low control, which is much more flexible than just a tone control. So I really like that I can control these two things independently. The presentation I've shown you in the rated boost video, but I'll show you quickly again, is killer. An amazingly luxurious looking box. You open this puppy and there's instructions in here, and very nicely packaged and very, very cool. There's a 3M rubber base that you can put on it. Because, well, I bitched at the Frankfurt Music Show and said, look, all these companies, including boutique companies, go ahead and deliver these pedals without anything. So if I want to have them on the table, I need to buy feet. So they actually give you the rubber base and the Velcro. Can you see that? Now how nice is that? Already cut out. That is attention to detail. And this is a pedal that's going to run you under €100. I have no idea how much. I'm going to say maybe 50, 60, something like that. So you find out how much. We have 5 of them already. We've got the Rated Boost, Wild Boost, AT Drive, the Pipe Bomb, which name, I don't know, depending on where you are, that's not very tasteful. That's a compressor, and the Blue Rain. Today we're looking at the Wild Boost. Apparently what they were going for there was to do something similar to what Exotic did. So a clean boost, drive boost, and kind of like a BB preamp. I don't necessarily think, I don't have the AC boost, RC boost, I don't know, I think it's the AC boost. The Wild Boost, a little bit more drive. I don't think that they nailed it. I don't think that's what they were going for 100%. They said this, let's take this idea of different kind of boosts and do our spin on it, which I like. Because this puppy is fuzzy. It turned into a Muppet, a fuzzy bear. Sorry, fuzzy bear, fuzzy, no, not happening. Stupid joke. So, I don't like the fuzzes that go... If I want a real big-time destroyed fuzz sound, I'm gonna go and get a Big Muff. I have one, you might have seen the video. So, this is fuzzily, this is not muddy, but it's, a thick, fuzzy sound without overdoing it. So I think they nailed that power chord 70s-y sound. Okay? We're gonna test it with something with a little bit more output, PRS SE guitar right there. And we are testing it with an LSL T-Bone, pretty much one of the nicest Telecaster type guitars, or vintage type Telecasters that you can get. You see, it's totally vintaged. There's a video on my channel. If you're in Germany and you want to find the place to get LSL guitars, here's the tip. LKG Guitars in Gladenbach, near Gießen. Smack in the middle of Germany, can't be smack in the middle. And Ludwig Klingelhofer from LKG Guitars has a whole bunch of these there, so not just one or two. You have a real selection. You can really play for hours through a Sir Badger or Bad Cat amps. He's got high-end stuff there. He also has PRS guitars, so you can... He also has custom shop Fenders, so you can actually compare this to high-end guitars. The trick with LSL is not a lot of stores carry them. Because they're crap? No, not that. But because they're afraid that they only sell LSL and don't sell Fender. And if you don't sell enough Fender, Fender's going to be pissy and not going to give you guitars anymore. So they're actually so good that they can't get in the stores. That's the trick. But Ludwig Klingelhofer from LKG Guitars has them in stock always. So go and check them out. I'm going there on Wednesday and I'm going to check out some Strats. So this is going just like at his store through Sommer cable, very nice, through Neutrik connectors, into the Wild Boost, straight into the input of the Sir Badger. The Wild Boost is powered with a Carmartin Pro Power. Very nice power supply. I've got several now. I also have the Joyo power supply too, which is very small, very nice power supply, but it is in my pedal board back there. So, they're both fine. The amp is going into the Sir 112 cab, which has a warehouse speaker in it, a veteran 38 ohm, and it's being mic'd with a Shure SM57 and a very inexpensive, about €90, T-Bone. Can you see that? T-Bone ribbon mic, just thrown smack in front of it, kind of at the same distance. Being mixed together in my Universal Audio 710D preamp. Oh my god, moving on. So this is the clean sound in front position. Don't get confused by this, because this is front, this is back. It came wired this way, no idea what they were thinking. So there's our clean sound. We open this puppy, turn it on. Sound gets fatter, sound gets a little bit brighter, more compressed. Could just use this as a fatter clean sound. It already has a little bit of fizzle. It's a very thick sounding pedal. Okay, so obviously, well, you might want to use it for that, but I think the real fascination of this pedal is when it goes into the fuzz area. For fuzz for fat rhythms, Wild Boost, I think, is actually, I mean, usually the Chinese don't know how to name things. They kind of suck at that. Pipe bomb. But Wild Boost is actually a perfect name for this. Gonna go in the back. So I might want to, you know, increase the bass. Let's look at the EQ. We're gonna go in the middle here. So high, low, gain, and level. That's what we got. True bypass, of course. A lot of high-end reserves. With this guitar, probably not a good idea. With the Les Paul, this might actually be perfect. So very usable EQ on the pedal. So careful there with the low control. And we're gonna go up the drive again. It's fun to play, and can you hear it is tiny bit fuzzy. Great, just the right amount. Not insane amounts of lead. Gain, that's what I'm looking for. But let's see, well, it's called a boost. Let's see what happens if we actually boost a, you know, driven sound. So now we've got the amp in, you know, just breaking up. Let's wild boost it. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's check that out with humbuckers. So, we got a PRS SE here. Is this puppy tuned? Not really. So, the Joyo Cobra tuner gets clipped on. So, we are tuned. Okay. Let's go right in the back. Actually, let's look at lean sound in the front. Slight breakup on the amp. Notice when you get too low, it pushes too much. sound when you get it high up, so we might have to take the volume down. Amp doesn't want it down there, so let's bring the amp back to where we were before. That's kind of neat. So, in the front. Beautiful overdrive, of course, it all depends on how much you're pushing it. If we're gonna go into this area here, a little bit more high end. So my description would be, it's always very transparent, all the notes are there, but it's dirty, it's got attitude, you know? It's not your pristine sounding pedal, it's your I don't give a flying fuck, get out of my way, you asshole pedal, okay? So if that's what you're looking for, and you want a pedal that's very, very tiny, and eats up almost no space on your pedal board. Of course, it needs power, you know, and where should the battery go? Then the Joyo Wild Boost from the Ironman series is for you.